Well, Holly, I think you are probably one of the very few people who will look back and say 2020, what a year, because you have absolutely smashed it. What you won, 144 winners so far and counting. You've had success all around the world, been in demand at the top level, success at Royal Ascot. You had a double on Champions Day, your first Group 1 winner with Glenn Shiel. You've travelled all over the globe. You've been to Hong Kong and back. You rode in the Breeders' Cup. And you won the Sunday Times Sportswoman of the Year award. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, you've been nominated for the Sports Personality of the Year award. Holly, how does that feel?
It's been pretty crazy, really. I obviously, you always aim to kind of achieve these things, but under the circumstances, pretty mad how it's happened this year.
You say you set out an aim for these things. Surely, in your wildest dreams at the start of this season, you didn't think you'd be sat in this position. I mean, there's not many jockeys get nominated for this at all. I mean, it must be a dream come true.
Yeah, it's massive shock to have been nominated for the BBC Sports Personality. It's just good for racing. I don't really see it as personally. It's just good for racing as a whole and the whole industry that is getting noticed amongst other sports, really.
George, did you ever look like getting nominated for anything like this in your career?
No, I had to nearly kill myself to get a Leicester, so it wasn't a smooth process for that even. But it must be fantastic, Holly, to be upside the likes of Tyson Fury, Lewis Hamilton, and so forth, to kind of put yourself into. I always found it weird to see yourself as an elite athlete, but that's exactly what you are, and it must be a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, and it's a massive honour. It's quite funny, really, seeing myself alongside the likes of Lewis Hamilton. But I never thought I'd ever be in a position like this. So it's pretty cool.
And what's the process, Holly? What have you got to schedule for this week leading up? Because we're only 6 days away.
Nothing out of the ordinary, really. I'm just racing every day up until then. So.
So you're just going to rock up on Saturday night at the BBC Sports Personality of the Year Awards, go on stage with these superstars and win it for racing, are you?
Well, hopefully, but no, it'd just be good to, be involved, really.
And Holly, just tell us a little bit about are your family and so forth able to go with you to the awards? How does it work?
They've got invitations as well. I don't know if they're coming. My dad's just had an operation on his back. I don't know if he'll be able to make it, but I think my mum will hopefully come.
Surely Tom will be going with you, won't he?
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, he can come and talking for me.
And have you thought about what it'd be like if you did win?
Not really. I suppose I better give that a thought, but I'd be pretty gobsmacked if I did win. I wouldn't know what to say.
You might have to get in between Lewis Hamilton and Ronnie O'Sullivan, because have you read much about they've had a bit of a fallout? Did you hear what Ronnie O'Sullivan said?
No, I actually haven't heard about that. I heard about Fury pleading for people not to vote for him, and I don't know if he's going or not, but I was hoping to get a selfie with him, but that'd be pretty gutting if he didn't do that.
Well, just to let you know, in case you'd put your foot in it, Ronnie O'Sullivan, he said he thinks Lewis Hamilton's achievements are not all that great, considering he said he goes out there every week and just drives the fastest car so he can make more mistakes and it's easy for him. What if he says something like to you that you're riding the best horses, what would you say to him?
I'd say give it a go yourself or something like that, but that's what they're thinking. I'm just riding the fastest horse or something, but yeah.
It's an amazing achievement, Holly. I mean, and the whole of racing's behind you, because you are taking our sport to the front pages. It's phenomenal what you've achieved this year. It's been a fantastic year. If you had to sum it up, what would be your highlight for you this year? To
be fair, the Royal Ascot winner, the front end of the season, kind of got things rolling for me. That was a dream come true, really, especially on Scarlet Dragon, who's been a good horse for me. So that was probably the most, the best feeling I've had so far. But Glenn Glen Shiel winning on Champions Day was unreal.
And it must have been obviously getting your new retainer with Ahmed Al Shagar. It must have been a really satisfying feeling to get on an extra elusive for Roger Charlton and the team and sort of nail it with him, because he's not a particularly straightforward horse, and to work him out and get him to relax into smooth rhythm. For yourself personally, that must have been quite a satisfying achievement.
Yeah, no, that was great. He was like one of my first few rides for Imad, and quite a lot of pressure was felt because he can be a tricky horse. I thought this could go one way or the other. He could make me look like an absolute mushroom or a hero, but it worked out well, and it's just it's great to be getting in with the likes of Roger Charlton and John Gosden, who trains some of Imad's horses, and it's just good to have a bit of security, within my career, because so far, without that security, trying to tread on eggshells the whole time.
Security, you've got people fighting over to use your services. If we go back to Ascot, obviously your first Group 1 winner on Glen Shiel. You've actually been nominated for a Leicester Awards for that, for Ride of the Year, along with Flat Jockey of the Year. Would you like to? I'm sure you'd like to win that for Ride of the Year, because there's a lot of rides through 12 months, and it was a fantastic ride. Would that be fair to say you'd be really keen to win that award too?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. There's some great rides nominated for that award, so that'd be great.
It was a typical Hollie Doyle type of ride, that, wasn't it? I mean, it was a power-packed front-running ride. You got the tactics and the fractions right, but you looked like getting swamped with half a furlong to run, and you just seemed to lift him over the line. It was, he looked really strong on that fella. Have you put a lot of focus? I know George was saying this earlier. Have you put a lot of focus on going into the gym and changing that style of riding at the start of the year? Just strengthened yourself up?
That's it. I think like 2 years ago, I started going to Oakley House and working with Gavin in there, and I had to get better really and get stronger, for myself and for everyone who I was riding for. So it's worked well for me, and it's something I take quite seriously, because I can see how much it helps me out.
And Hollie, with that process, because it fascinates me how you came around to making that decision. And I spoke to Gavin at Oaks House quite a bit about your mindset and how driven you are in the gym to get to that point and putting all that muscle on. Was it you that identified that you needed to do that, or did someone say to you? Is there someone you speak to about that sort of thing? How did it come around?
I always kind of grew up thinking I wasn't good enough, so I've always wanted to be better, and I'm quite like self-critical, and it doesn't take someone to tell me this isn't good enough. I kind of recognise it myself. So I was just kind of taken under the wing of everyone within Oakley House, and they really helped me.
Yeah, I've seen videos of you jumping on tyres and onto tables and all kinds of. I thought you were going to be a trapeze artist or something. Some of the things you've been doing. But it obviously has helped you. I mean, you've come a long way. You've done things in 12 months, 2 years that other jockeys take the whole career to achieve. I mean, you've been all around the world this year. Where have you enjoyed? Did you enjoy riding in the Breeders' Cup?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I'd love to ride a Breeders' Cup winner one day, but so do most jockeys. But my favourite trip yet was probably Hong Kong. I know it's probably because I had a winner, but I just really enjoyed the way you had to ride and how the track around Happy Valley Road. It's definitely the place that probably appeals to me most to want to go back one day.
So do you think you'll end up riding maybe in Hong Kong next winter, or have you been offered any position?
Not yet, but if I got the opportunity, I'd take it with both hands.
I could really see you riding out there on a regular basis. It's quite an interesting track, especially Happy Valley. It's really sharp. But you seem to take to it like a duck to water.
Yeah, I walked the track with the other lads, and I was going around there thinking, "Oh God, holy crap, this is pretty tight." If we went around there off our British racing rules, I think there'd be a few people on the deck. But because the rules out there are so strict, I mean, I had my first ride and I soon realised that it's not like England and the rules are so strict, and they ride so much cleaner, which enables the races to be run, clean as such. So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, the rules are a lot stricter out there, and they have to be, and it's a really tight style of riding. So you rode in America, you rode in Hong Kong. Where else have you been? You've been to France. You've had success in France this summer, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been to France plenty of times. Germany a bit too, but yeah, I quite enjoy riding in France. Obviously, the prize money's good. Sometimes it can suit our horses actually start of running because they can get an easy lead sometimes. But no, I really enjoy riding in as many different places as I can.
So would you say you've done it the hard way? You've literally grafted from the bottom up and proven yourself?
It took me quite a long time to get going, but rightly so, because I wasn't good enough. But it took a long time to get going, but things have happened really quickly over the last 2 years. Since I lost my claim, things have, gone pretty good.
You keep saying you weren't good enough and you have to improve and you're self-critical. I mean, it's quite a good feature, but I mean, you must look and acknowledge the fact of how well you've done. You must be pleased with what you've done. Or are you one of those that can never see that and you're always pushing for more?
Yeah, I think once you get a taste of it, I just want more and to get better and do as well as I can, really. I don't really dwell on things and just look for the next kind of thing to achieve.
So you're nominated for the Leicester's Flat Jockey of the Year, and so was Tom. So, whoa, somebody's going to have bragging rights.
Yeah, that's pretty mad that we're both nominated for the same thing, but we'll see what happens.
And Hollie, I'm just interested to know, again, this is just picking your brain about how for example, if you're riding at racing today, would you be very thorough in going through the form of the races beforehand, or do you trust feel, or how would you approach it when you ride? I always find it fascinating how different jockeys line up their sort of things before they start riding.
Yeah, I can't turn up to a race without a paper and a bit of form done. I can't walk out there without kind of knowing what's going on. For my own own brain, really. I mean, lots of people can kind of go out there and ride them as they find them, but I just like to know for self-satisfaction what I think is going to happen.
Have you planned a holiday?
Yeah, thankfully managed to get the week off after Christmas, so we're going to go away then.
Where are you going, Hollie?
Well, we've got a holiday booked to St. Lucia, which we went there 2 years ago, but it's just dependent on like the corridors for the travel. At the moment, we don't have to isolate, but if that changes, I don't know if we'll be able to go. But
are you expecting Tom to get down on one knee?
I don't know. I said not to bother because I haven't got time to plan a wedding.
Well, Hollie, going forward, what does the future hold? What do you aspire to do next? I mean, you've done so much already. What are your ambitions going forward for next season?
I always wanted better than what I've done the year before, but I could have quite a hard task on my hands to do better than this year. But I don't want this year to be my best ever year, so I'm trying to achieve bigger and better things, hopefully in the future.